What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you an NFL prediction video on Brandon Aiyuk. I believe he'll be traded to the Washington Commanders this offseason. But let's go back, highlight, capitalize if. If he is traded, I believe he will go to the Commanders. But let's get into it, guys. Before we get started, comment down below. Do you believe the Niners will trade Aiyuk this offseason? Let me know in the comment section. But let's get into it, guys. I'm honestly 50-50 on how I feel about Aiyuk going further. For at least for next season. Will he be a Niner? Will they trade him? I really don't have an inkling or have a clue of where or what might happen to him. We'll see where it goes. But before I get into a kind of an analysis of both sides, why they might trade him, why they will keep him. I do have a reason why the Commanders, and it's kind of plain and simple. First off, the scheme. Bringing in Cliff Kingsbury, the rumor is that Dan Quinn's going to let him do what Kyle Shanahan did back when he was with my Falcons as the head coach a couple years ago, and let Kyle Shanahan did as well. But he's going to let Cliff Kingsbury run the whole offense. It's his baby. It's his show. So if that's the case, we're being under the Cliff Kingsbury show. It's going to be air raid, air raid, air raid, and you need more receivers. As of right now, Curtis Samuel for the Commanders is a free agent. Probably won't be brought back. So right now, your top two targets is Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin. Both are good guys. Both are solid players. But the question on Terry is he still a true number one guy? That's the real question. So, Commander fans, don't attack me, but there are questions out there about McLaurin's future as a true number one. He might be a high-end two option as of right now, but we'll see. But if that's the case, why not bring in, if that's the case, if he's a number two guy, a high-end two, you have him as a high-end two, Jahan Dotson, very high-end three, or a mid, second option, number two guy, and you bring in Brandon Aiyuk right now, who's an unproven low-end one option. Who's done it on big stages but hasn't done it consistently because his offense, really. Not really because his skill level or what he's shown or his talent. He hasn't had the opportunity. So you Brandon Aiyuk. So you have a need for scheme, a need for roster also. Even if you didn't have Cliff Kingsbury, I would advise the Commanders to try to bring in Aiyuk. He's a scheme versatile guy. He can run. He's a route magician. You can do what he wants as far as the route tree goes. No limits there. So he'll be a perfect fit for any scheme. So that's a plus. You have an air raid system with Cliff Kingsbury. Then you have a new quarterback. You have either Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. All three guys can sling the ball. All three guys, except for Daniels, pretty accurate. Daniels is cool on accuracy, but not great, or not at the level at least of May and Williams. But all three guys can sling the ball. All three guys will be good fits, I believe, in the air raid system that Cliff Kingsbury will bring to Washington. So that's a plus as well. And then you have the last plus, which is money. Money, money, money. The root of all evil. That money will be the biggest thing that hurts teams in the past and in the future and in the present. Obviously, Aiyuk wants more money. He wants to get paid. And I'm going to get into that later about, the Niners paying him. But, whoever trades for him, if he is traded, go back to the if. If he is traded, you're going to have to pay him with an extension probably right away. And if that's the case, the Commanders have a bunch of money to do it. They have $81 million as far as over the cap goes, which is a sight. They're really good at crunching numbers, finding what teams have as far as salary cap goes, and with the potential to even go higher, depending on some moves they make, contract restructures, roster cuts, stuff like that. They can even have more money and maybe balloon up to about $90 million. Depends on how everything shakes out for the Commanders this offseason. So if that's the case, they have a bunch of money to trade and sign Aiyuk long term to be their true number one guy. Followed by Scary Terry, and then you have Jahan Dotson also. So that's a good big three for any quarterback, and let alone a rookie quarterback to come into and start throwing to right away. That's a heck of a big three. Then you get into why they might trade him. Why you might trade Brandon Aiyuk is real simple. back to the money part. He wants to get paid, and look at the Niners roster. Can they afford to pay him? Like you have Chase Young coming. Well, not coming up. Chase Young is this summer now. What do you do with him? You have the safety. Forgive me for forgetting his name, but the safety with all the hair. I forgot his name, but he was hurt a lot of the year this season. You gotta pay him as well pretty soon. Then you have the nice size contracts of Debo, Kittle, let alone Purdy coming down the line. So also the O line needs some help, and also just fill in gaps here and there as well. So you got to need a lot of money to make that stuff happen, and the Niners aren't really having a lot of money to really spend the next couple of years. A lot of contracts they already have that's pretty sizable, plus more coming down the line with Purdy and all those guys. So that's a big reason as well. Another thing that might hamper Aiyuk's stand is himself and his family. Aiyuk reportedly wants out. His family, soon as the Super Bowl ended, his wife or girlfriend, whoever she is to him, no, his lady. Let's put it there. His lady. His lady said, "We want out. This might be our last game with the Niners. It's been great, but it's time to go get this bread and move somewhere else." His brother, I believe, came out and said some stuff. He came out and hinted at some things as well. So everything from the Aiyuk camp is saying he wants out. So, you gotta believe what he says. Him and his family says, I guess, So if that's the case, then I would think the Niners might want to trade him if he's not happy being there. If it's not just about money. But like I said before, I did a Debo breakdown, in the individual Debo breakdown of the film of Super Bowl 58. And during that video, I said it then. I think Kyle Shanahan and Brock did Aiyuk a misservice as far as missing him and not targeting him as much as they should have. They targeted Debo a nice amount, even when he was locked up, clamped up by Trent McDuffie. You had Aiyuk sometimes down the field just running, or had a step or two where you could have pushed the ball downfield. The Niners could have been aggressive and targeted him, but instead they played a little more safe and kept the ball pretty middle to the short side of the field instead of trying to push it deep a little bit when Aiyuk had the chance, a step or two, or had at least one-on-one coverage, and also some touchdowns, a couple touchdown plays. Aiyuk was open, but the ball couldn't find his area or couldn't find his hands. So I did touch on those in that specific Debo video. But overall, though, I going to now transitioning over to the point where the Niners might keep him. I think they do value Brandon Aiyuk. Mistakes happen, things happen. You can't take it back, especially on the biggest stage where Aiyuk barely had any plays made. So it definitely does hurt. It does sting him being best wide receiver, but mistakes happen, and you right that wrong by paying him. So if they pay him, then I think it all could be cured. But also, as far as an insurance plan goes, Aiyuk is the insurance plan behind Christian McCaffrey. In my opinion, because, and let's be honest, let's be real here. Christian McCaffrey, his workload is high, his usage is high, and I've been saying this since the year and a half he's been there. They don't use the backups enough as far as Christian goes, as far as the running back backups go. Excuse me, RB2, RB3. Use them, Kyle Shanahan. Use your guys. You have Mitchell. No, he's not a stud running back, nothing like that. But he's not a slouch. He can do some, at least take some game reps, some hits off of Christian McCaffrey. I think McCaffrey's left in too many times for unnecessary plays and unnecessary reasons, but he don't have to. And that's a part of him as well because he wants to be on the field. He's a super competitor. I dig it. I love it. I get it. But you have to think long term. And McCaffrey, who works like a dog in the off season, all that good stuff, that's great. But you have to protect yourself at some point in time. And Kyle Shanahan and Christian both don't do that. They both, I believe, overuse him. Or he overuses himself, and Kyle goes along with it, and lets him do what he do. But he's a great player. He's awesome, all that good stuff. But you gotta limit him at some point. He's only getting older. But let's just say, knock on wood, if he does get injured, then the offensive scheme, offensive chemistry of the Niners will be totally different. And obviously, I think they'll have to pass the ball a little bit more. And Aiyuk, being the number one option, would get the ball more clearly. No, I know Debo was hurt and banged up a little bit prior to the hamstring in the third quarter. he had a shoulder injury coming into the game, but he didn't show out at all. He definitely, knocked down. Like, okay, maybe you could say prior to this season, Aiyuk, Debo, 1A, 1B for the Niners. Now is no question Aiyuk number one, maybe even Kittle two, and then Debo is the third, special X option for the X factor, for the sweeps and tosses and playing running back here and there and all that stuff. So, he and no disrespect Debo, not a disrespect him, but he's a great player. He's a very good player. But you gotta be in shape. You gotta want it. And like I said on tape, in that specific Debo breakdown, he didn't really want it some of those times versus the Chiefs, in my opinion. But the tape doesn't lie. Eye in the sky doesn't lie, as my coach told me. So I've been exposed by my coach in high school on the same thing. And when you're NFL, when you're pro level, the all access, all 22 coaches access is available to everybody. So we can definitely see everything and critique it. And Debo has been critiqued by me on this channel, and will continue to do so until he fixes it. So with that being the case, though, I think Aiyuk could stay with the Niners at least one more year. They try the running back. Ooh, my voice giving out on me. They try to run it back, bring back Chase. Maybe add an addition, a cheap addition, or someone takes a pay cut from free agency, come in and help out the Niners. Whatever they deem fit, especially that O line. They need Trent Williams back badly. If he wants to retire, we're not quite sure yet. He's hinted at it. Getting a little older, so we'll see. But I think the Niners can definitely stand pat and run it back and see what they have. But we don't know if Brandon Aiyuk wants to do that. So is it about money? Is it about a change of scenery? Is it about a better offense, better or different scheme? We're not quite sure what he's thinking, but as of right now, it seems like Aiyuk wants that bread, and the Niners not going to fork it over. They have a lot of things they need to do as well. So we'll see how everything breaks down in the near future. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.